Have you ever once had a bird perched by your window side and you feel like talking to it? I have had that experience maybe once or twice. It's another time to explore simple, fulfilling, and more meaningful lifestyle in wellness. Welcome to Better You. My name is Jane Ezo. Today we're talking about balance, how caring for yourself goes beyond just part of life. Let's take a short look at a mini documentary that captures nature balance and how it connects to becoming a better version of oneself.
Dermatology and aesthetics. When was the last time you really thought about your skin? Not just the mirror glance, not just powder and sunscreen. Truly thought about it. Your skin is your body's first introduction to the world. It protects you from heat, from infections, from pollution. It heals itself, it adapts. Every sunburn, every breakout, every sleepless night. Your skin keeps a record. And some treat it as an afterthought. Dermatology is the science of understanding this powerful organ. It goes beyond acne or rashes. Dermatologists diagnose and treat conditions like eczema, psoriasis, fungal infections, pigmentation disorders, and even skin cancers. In an environment with intense sun exposure, heat, and environmental stress, expert skin care isn't optional. It is essential. Now let's bring in aesthetics. The word sometimes gets misunderstood. Aesthetic medicine isn't about chasing perfection. It's about restoration. It's about helping your skin function at its best, improving texture, treating scars, managing hyperpigmentation, slowing down premature aging. It's where science meets artistry. But here's the fact. Skincare is not social media trends. It's not guesswork. It goes beyond mixing products. Just because someone on the internet said it works for them, healthy skin requires knowledge, precision, and trained professional hands and minds. And that's why today's conversation matters. We are joined by someone who understands both the science of the skin and the art of seeing beauty. Dr. Harun Adamu is a dedicated consultant dermatologist and aesthetic physician whose work is rooted in expertise, safety, and patient-centered care. And interestingly, beyond the clinic, there's another fascinating layer to Dr. Adamu. He's also a landscape and bird photographer. Growing up in Abuja, he developed a deep appreciation for its hills, rocks, valleys, and its quiet natural beauty, a passion that led to his stunning 170-page coffee table book, Scenic Abuja, a photo journey to the hills, rocks, and valleys. Now, definitely you're interested. Stay with us on Better You for more.
Like I said earlier, I have a very special guest in the studio today. He's someone who blends science, creativity, and a deep love for nature in a truly inspiring way. And guess what? He is a consultant, physician, and a dermatologist. Welcome to the show, Dr. Adamu.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, Dr. Adamu, you are a dermatologist, but there's clearly more to you than medicine, which is photography. But let's start with the dermatologist part of it. What was it about this field that really inspired you?
I chose dermatology during my residency training because of all the specialties that I had the option of choosing. Dermatology offers me a mix of the things that I feel are important to me. In dermatology, It's a mix of cognitive work as well as art. And mixing mental work as well as art, because in the routines of a dermatologist, one moment you are carrying out intense clinical reasoning, trying to diagnose a situation, and the next moment you are carrying out procedural dermatology, which could be lasers, chemical peels, other procedures that what we call art or handwork. So it blends that mix of cognitive exercise and art, in both physical and mental. That's one aspect. And the second aspect is dermatology is actually an extremely satisfying field, because dermatological diseases like psoriasis, vitiligo, albinism have a very important affect the patients very well in a negative way. It affects their quality of life. So when you, as a dermatologist, make them comfortable, you treat them and they become comfortable in their own skin, it's extremely satisfying. Those are the things that motivated me. The mixed practice of procedural and cognitive work, as well as the immense satisfaction that comes from knowing that you have made someone's life better. And all this happening in the background that dermatology is also it's a constantly changing field, so it's not boring. It's constantly changing. Innovations are coming out in procedural, in researches, in genetics, so you're constantly updating. And moreover, there are over 5,000 diseases. And this is a very important point for me. It's never boring. I'm always excited when I'm coming to the clinic, because I never know what I was going to meet.
Yeah, you mentioned that there is art in dermatology.
Yes.
So me, I'm looking at a contrast before. Yes. So was that a passion why you started having photography as your hobby?
Let me take the first one, where the artistic aspect of dermatology. In dermatology, when people present with skin disease, it's visual. It's difficult for somebody to tell you something over the phone. So the art is a visual feel. You need to see art to appreciate it. You can't appreciate art over the radio. So in dermatology is a visual field. You see the skin lesion, and how do you know what is wrong with the patient? You recognize patterns, textures. The way an artist draws patterns, textures, or photographer recognizes patterns and texture. So you use that to reach a conclusion or to begin to investigate the patient. That's one aspect of the artistic aspect of dermatology. The other aspect of dermatology is that when you, in the aesthetic aspect, where you make people comfortable because they are uncomfortable with certain aspects of their skin or their features. Maybe they have pigmentation, they have keloids, they have nodules, they have fat in areas they don't want, and you want to mold them into things, or you want to mold their features or treat them in a way that you restore back the abnormalities they see in their face. So you are at liberty to do that to the satisfaction of the patient. So that aspect also is visual and is artistic, and the patient feels happy and comfortable. Okay. So because of this now, that's when I say it, that there's some artistic aspect to dermatology and aesthetics. Let me put it that way, both dermatology and aesthetic practice. First of all, in my training in dermatology, I got familiar with the cameras, first of all, because during my thesis, dermatologists basically communicate with pictures. Pictures, basically. If you pick up a dermatology textbook, 80% is going to be pictures, or maybe 70, 60%, the other things is going to be pictures. So as a dermatologist, you have to learn to use the camera, because that's how you learn to communicate with other dermatologists, by the pictures you send to them. So I got familiar with the camera during my training for dermatologists. Okay, I got familiar with the camera, so I had an exposure to the camera. In fact, your thesis can be sent back if your pictures are not good enough, if your pictures do not convey exactly what the patient presents. Not just for me, for almost every dermatologist, there's some degree of familiarity with cameras. So what makes a difference for me is that by the time I began to take an interest in nature during the COVID period, when I spent time in parks or looking through my windows, observing nature, observing birds, observing wildlife, okay, it enabled me to capture them and look at my pictures and begin to pay attention to how those pictures are not living up to the standard I see from great photographers. Then I began to ask questions as to why am I not getting it right. So that interest developed.
Let's talk about your photo book now, Scenic Abuja, a photo journey to hills, rocks, and valleys. Okay, it looks so beautiful. When people see your photos or flip through your book, what do you hope they take home?
Well, the aim of the book is to capture the hills, valleys, and rocks in Abuja. I haven't grown up in the city or in the territory. I'm very familiar with the nature of the hills, rocks, valleys, and the rivers. So I captured it in a way to serve as a coffee table book for some reasons. One of the reasons is to serve as a getaway, a mental getaway for people. If your work is monotonous and routine and you can't take a break or holiday, but you want to immerse yourself in something different, something natural, so it serves as a mental takeaway. So it's supposed to be kept in offices, in reception areas, in sitting rooms, in hotels, in airports, and as gifts, where you flip through the pictures and you see both places, on both places, and there is no AI. The pictures are captured in their natural state, and you appreciate nature as conversation starters. And also as kind of like, I want to deepen people's love for nature. So that's one of the ideas of the book. Surrounding us are beautiful and natural places, which, because of our daily routines, we do not pay attention to it. And the aim of this book is to draw your attention. Look, this place exists. Maybe find time to go there, hike or visit, observe nature, and you'll be amazed that you live in a very beautiful environment.
Away from the book, you are in the medical career. You're juggling between creative work, consultant, physician, and a dermatologist. Honestly, I'd like you to tell us how you find a balance.
Yes, it's not such a difficult thing for me, but I hadn't always been like this. But dermatology and aesthetic practice, just like can be a bit overwhelming and monotonous. You wake up in the morning, you are doing it till evening, sometimes till night. You understand? You keep seeing the patient, even though it can be varying. But your life is always work, home, work, home, work, home. So, and you need to create time out so that you clear your head. You clear your head, and so that when you come back to work, you are mentally refocused, rejuvenated. So, photography, nature photography, basically landscape and wildlife photography, gives me that getaway. When I spend time early in the Saturday mornings, just 1 or 2 hours, either in parks or hiking in nature, I take photographs. Not just that I hike and observe, I take photographs. I do with friends most times, and sometimes there are clubs like the Abuja Bird Club, which I belong to. So I go and take these photographs. Sometimes they are random photographs I see, and sometimes they are pre-planned. I'm passing by the road, I see a scene, and the photographer in me tells me that I can make a beautiful picture out of this with the direction of the sun. So I take the pictures and I come back and I go back to work. So that break away from my daily routine, it's what keeps me going. There's not much, but it has a lot of impact. Because one of the questions always people ask me, how do you create a time? How do you create a time? How do you get the time to do this? You're always busy. Because when they come to my clinic, I'm always around. I'm never missing from my duty post. How do you create time to do this? But I just realized I don't think in terms of traveling out and going to great places, visitors and exotic locations. I do within the Abuja environment, within my natural environment. For instance, now you look at it on Saturday evening and I'm off work, okay? Most of my contemporary colleagues would maybe spend their Saturday evening watching a football match. Some of them will start watching football matches from 4 p.m. to 8. They move from one match to another 4 p.m. That's maybe 4 hours. I just did like 1 hour, 1.5 hours out in a park or at a rock site, and I've taken my pictures, I've done my video photograph. So when I come back and post them, people are like, how did you get this time to do this? And how did you have the time to do this thing? But you can spend your time outside, or you can spend it sitting on an armchair, watching TV or watching something, and it's still time.
All right, Dr. Adamu, you have so much experience about nature. And of course, it seems to be a very big part of life for us as humans. what does nature do for people mentally and emotionally?
Well, mentally, it gives you a break. Like I said, you break away from your routines, from your hustles, and that's one mentally. So you are refreshed. Then you also see yourself as being part of something larger, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, being that part of something larger. When you're sitting in the office, or you're sitting in the consult room every day, you come to the office or the studio, you come to the office, it's an artificial environment. You feel that is life. But when you spend out time in nature, you see the rocks, the rivers, the hills and valley, then you begin to realize your essence in the world. It gives you time to connect emotionally to your true person, the way you are. You know, there's one of my favorite photographers who spends time out in the desert. In the desert, he wrote a book about desert landscape. He spent time in the desert, nature, and he says that God did not speak to the prophets in any man-made building. He spoke to them in the desert, in nature, outside. So when you spend time in quiet places, nature places, and you reflect and think, it has a spiritual effect on you than when you are sitting in an artificial environment.
Okay. For viewers who feel stuck, choosing between passion and profession like you did, what would you say to them? I'd like to give them an advice.
There's no reason to get stuck. You just balance it out. Of course, your job is what put food on the table. It has to pay priority attention. But don't get caught up in the race. If you have something that you are interested in and it's a passion, you just need to study it very well. You need to be inquisitive about it. You need to find time to blend into it. Make sure it's something that you can afford, does not take too much of your resources. Make sure it's something that that you can find time for. Prioritize it so that you get a balanced life. Life is full of problems and struggles, and problem never finishes. So first I have to rejuvenate. Let it be something you're interested in. Let it be something that you can afford. Let it be something that you create time for. And most importantly, do it because you enjoy it, not because you expect to make profit from it.
All right, on a final note, Dr. Damu, this is Better You, and we talk about self-improvement. From your point of view, what does looking better really mean beyond just the physical?
Well, looking better beyond just the physical, yes, of course, there's the emotional and then there's the spiritual. Okay? In the emotional aspect, looking better involves you, the physical is important, but looking better also, your mental focus, your orientation, your thinking and your creativity needs to be sharpened too. Because while you look better to look better physically, but you need also to be focused mentally and creative wise so that you can solve the problems of life. Looking better physically, cognitive wise, emotionally and spiritually. In the spiritual realm, you understand your place in the world, you practice forgiveness and compassion, and you connect with your maker. These three aspects to me is my own impression of what looking better generally will entail. Okay?
All right, Dr. Aruna, I'd like you to give some quick wellness tips. You're looking so good. You're looking very, very good. And you've told us your secrets. But I want you to give some other wellness tips aside from the passion of nature.
And well, the wellness tips for everybody is the same. We're all human beings, irrespective of the kind of life you find yourself. Physical wellness, exercise, dieting is important. That's one, the physical one. The mental one, finding something, sharpening your brain, sharpening your ability to think, to focus and solve problems. 3 issues. Definitely, you would look better. And I advise anybody to approach life from that perspective and aspect of it. And then exercise is important. Exercise is important, but watching what you eat is important, and having your regular checkups. Okay, medical checkup. As you age, a lot of things are going to come into it, both physical and mental. So you need to eat right. You need to exercise well. You need to have your regular medical checkup. You need to build yourself emotionally. You need to check up on others. You need to relate with outsiders. If a job is involving, do things that are opposite to what you normally do. If your job involves isolation in an office, get out and meet people outside. Hike or go to parks, mix people with social gathering. And on the other hand, if your job involves a lot of crowds, you meet a lot of people, you work in an area where there's high level of human contact, then find something outside that's solitary walks that just give you a different perspective of life. Okay, so those combination is what I would recommend to people. Taste the variety of life, get something different. Okay, don't stick to your one kind of life. Taste some other life so that you get balance and you see things in proper perspective. You see life in a more holistic way.
Wow. Dr. Adamu, it's been an amazing time with you on the show here.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Up next is the exercise segment. I like to guide you through simple exercise that you can do anywhere to help you reset, recharge, and move more step closer to a better you. Let's go there.
You hear the word exercise, perhaps the word exercise is a big deal. So you keep postponing. Why you hear the word dance? You're excited. Let's get down to some dance aerobics. Workout, and it's good. Many people want to be more healthy, more productive, and to perform at optimal capacity. Here's how you do it. When you get to a gym, there are rules and procedures you should follow to get the best desired result and to ensure you promote your good health and longevity.
Don't stop.
All right, we've come to the end of today's episode. Remember, improving your life starts with small, intentional steps, whether caring for your body, your mind, or simply reconnecting with nature. Thanks for watching. I am Jane Izon. Until next time, keep striving to be a better you.